Hello, everybody. Welcome to another live stream with Mint Markets. So, at the very beginning, let me remind you that all being done and said here is my personal opinion. Any trades I take here um, are in a demo account live in front of you. Please do not take anything I do or say as trading or investment advice. Do not risk real money on anything being said and shown here. You could potentially lose real money. Let's get right into the analysis. It's 9:58. Let me start with the economic calendar here. You can see that we do not have any high or medium impact news today. So we have to be living with the volatility we get, with the regular volatility. Also at the very beginning, let me check real quick that we are in fact live. I don't want to speak without anybody having the opportunity to see or listen. All right. Looking good so far. So, what did we have so far? My chart looks pretty sloppy at the very moment. Sorry for that, but there's a couple of annotations here. I have here the 8:30 opening price, and I have here the New York midnight opening price. This one here is the new day opening gap here, and here we have the opening range gap from 9:30 to from yesterday's close to today's market opening. If we look at the 1 hour, we have seen that we have taken out yesterday's high, and we have a market structure shift on the 1 minute. We have a high, a low, a higher high on the 1 hour. Sorry, we have broken that, even though like shallowly only. We are on top. We are at the discount end of this new week opening gap. We have traded into the fair value gap and lower since. We can also see the market structure shift on the 15-minute here, high, low, higher high. However, so far this run was not very convincing. We took out the midnight, like approximately 0.0045 low, and we have taken out this old low here from yesterday's PM session. And we have since we have traded up, have taken out this high, but it's still very choppy. I kind of prefer the sell side on the 1 hour setup here. I think the sell side liquidity is the one that is more likely to be taken, since we have taken out buy side liquidity already here and here and here. However, the market structure shift, in my opinion, is not very convincing yet. Still, I'm having a slightly short bias here. We have lows here, lows here. Also, if we measure the range here we had yesterday, 50% is about here. So we could see a retracement into these levels here, approximately 5288 in my opinion. And we have liquidity down here. So that's what I'm what my bias is today. However, I'm not happy with shorting right now. I want to see some more confirmation first. I think so far we are still sloppy here and it could be range bound. We have taken out the liquidity here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go for buy side liquidity either. So yeah, so far I do not have a strong bias here. I have a soft bias here, and we have to wait to see if we get a good setup so far. Let me check the chat function also real quick. If you feel like, you can chat with me, write me some comments, questions, or anything else. Right. Looking good so far. So we have this new opening range gap here. The midpoint is about here, so we have touched the midpoint here. We will see if the midpoint acts as resistance here. So far it doesn't look too bearish. It looks like range bound. We have taken out low, high, low, and we might go again for some highs, again. We have, if you look on the 3-minute chart here, we have equal highs here. So we have this high here from 7:30, and we have the high from 1:30. So I can see that being attacked. Let's mark it here. And we have a fair value gap above here. So I think it's likely that we see, let me see how many handles that is. That's actually 9 handles. I think it's likely that we see the equal highs here being attacked at some point. Not taking a trade right now, but still. What we also can measure is the midpoint of this wick here, which is approximately here. We have reached it, overshot it a little bit, haven't closed above it yet. Let me also check real quick if Our account is online. Nice. So we're ready to trade. There was no trade being taken yesterday. As you can see, the last trade was taken on the 7th. So on Wednesday. Yesterday there was no good trade opportunity in my opinion, at least for me. Hi TT, good morning. Glad having you back. A frequent viewer. Yeah, I'm still careful today. No news driver today, and so far it looks like we are still in a consolidation, with all in a consolidation ranging like inside the old new week opening gap. So I would like to see obvious displacement, or otherwise we can only take turtle soup setups here, maybe going for old highs and lows here. And what I was suggesting here is that we're going for these equal highs here at 5,351 approximately, 5,351.75. Not sure if I want to trade that right now, but I think it's likely. We have here a fair value gap. We touched that. We have a market structure shift here, low with a swing high on the 2-minute, and I think we could potentially go higher here to attack these equal highs here. We are above the 8:30 opening, but below the New York midnight price, so we're basically in between, and we are also at the midpoint of these opening range gap here. I would prefer taking short setups today, but they would need to present themselves maybe later. To enter here in this fair value gap here would be 12 handle run. We have already taken some run here. Actually, in hindsight, I kind of would like to take this trade now, but it's too late now in my opinion. Not the worst trade idea in my opinion. Going long here in this fair value gap, aiming for 12 handles, and the stop being below here, so approximately 1-1 risk to reward trade. But we'll tape read it for now, and I think this is the target here. I think we can expect these equal highs being hit. The highs are formed after 7 o'clock. That's good. Let me bring up the Nasdaq chart for comparison as well. We have retraced strongly, and here we go. Here we go. We are in fact attacking here this sell side liquidity. We have reached it, so nice, good call, happy about that, even though we did not trade it. Nice to see that the trade idea unfolded. And back to the Nasdaq. All right. So we see a move up here as well. So far choppy as well. Same market structure, nothing too interesting here. Yeah, that would be a nice, that would have been a nice trade here for 10 handles here. With a market structure shift here on the 2-minute and a fair value gap entry. And now we are at the new week opening gap high again basically, and also above the New York midnight price here. So this target is taken, so I remove that. I can label that here. Pre-market open. We can label that as well here. And even here, we are even now in a better position for a short, in my opinion, if I want to go short. That's even better here because now we are in a bigger premium. So better for shorts here, but so far the setup is not really in place. So I think today will be an intraday scalp day, if at all, because the market structure on the 1 hour did not hold here. I think on the 1 hour we traded back into the fair value gap here, and that's not really a bearish market structure in my opinion so far. But maybe some level to look at for a short potential here at the premium high. So I'm looking if we might wanna see a short setup forming at some point or not. The text annoys me a little bit. Let's remove that. All right, better. All right, so I'm looking here if we probably find a short setup on the 1 minute maybe. After taking out some highs. I'm looking if I can find a short setup anytime soon. And why am I looking for shorts? Because we are at the premium high of this new week opening gap. We also are in a premium above the new day opening at the opening range gap here, shaded. But let's see if we get an entry. I think we have sell side liquidity here and potentially also here resting. So that's what I'm looking at. If we get animated here, we have a potential inversion fair value gap here. Last fair value gap before the up move. So I'm looking at that as well. Let me see what the risk is here for a potential trade entry. 7 handles here. Just failed the 1 minute fair value gap here. Would have liked to enter in that fair value gap, but didn't present it. We have now a 2 minute fair value gap as well. Here. Let me measure that real quick. The midpoint is exactly at the high. Okay. All right, I will take a short here. And I will put the stop loss at the high. And I'll be going for the new week opening gap. A low here at first. And we will see how that unfolds. So ideally, I don't want to see any retracement back into that fair value gap. I want to see the midpoint being respected here. So the high here, oh, that's not a deal. Don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that shit. I would like to see more respect of that fair value gap, and that's why I will take something off here in profit. Reaction might still be good, but I will actually take another one off. All right. Why did I take something off here? To explain, I don't want to be impulsive on this trade, but the reason why I took something off here is because this fair value gap here, we had no respect of the midpoint so far. We traded above. So yeah, so far I still don't want to close the whole trade. Man, I don't like the reaction too much, but I wanted to see the midpoint being respected here, and we can see that the midpoint was not respected here. So since I'm taking another partial off here, was too slow. We've taken out this low here, and I want to take another partial off, and I'm gonna put the stop loss above this high here. And so it's actually not it's not the ideal trade management here from my part. But again, I didn't like the reaction too much here. We closed here under the 50% level, that's good. But yeah, I was not feeling comfortable with the full risk here. Since we closed in the 2-minute fair value gap or the 1-minute fair value gap, since we closed that in completely, that's not what I wanted to see. That's why I reduced the risk, and basically the risk is the trade is risk-free. So if I'd be stopped out now, I wouldn't care, because yeah, nothing can happen anymore, and we can see if we can make a little bit of profit still. However, so far it's too choppy for my liking, and I'm not comfortable with holding the full position after this reaction here. And I'm fine with not making the full amount of money here. Too choppy. And I can just see and wait if it wants to pay out or not. And exactly that's what I don't like. We have taken out the high shallowly, just wicked through it. So I'm actually reducing the stop, so I'm really profitable now, even if it's just a couple of bucks. We are break even. However, no matter the result, and now I can leave the trade on. We have a retrade to the fair value gap here, so in my opinion it would need to go lower here now convincingly. We have a balanced price range here also, and we made a lower low, so this high should not be taken out, otherwise we would have a breaker to the upside. And in my opinion it's at the moment a little bit choppy. Might still pay out, but not comfortable holding it after the reaction, but we will see. Maybe we can still get a good execution on the partial. And since I took partials. I don't care. So far, so good. Would like to see it close here. We have this inversion fair value gap here, so it would be good being traded through and closed below here. And then one could enter on a retrade to this one. Not easy, the market today, I think. Consolidation profiles so far. You can trade turtle soup here, but it's hard in these environments, in my opinion. Not what I want to see here. Not what I want to see here. This another retrade into the fair value gap. So we had it once, twice, 3 times. Pooh, that is not ideal. Let's see if it wants to go lower. We are ranging between these two fair value gaps so far. Fair value gap here in the 1 minute and the fair value gap here at 10:10 and at 10:16. So far we are kept in a range between these two fair value gaps. And I'd like to see one side being broken. I would like to see the downside being broken, of course. Would be better for my trade, of course. I will stick to it. I don't feel very comfortable yet. I think it's a 50-50 now, but since we can't lose any money anymore, I will just let it go. But I would not take this trade right now with my live account. So far so good. The reaction is nice. So we have another break here of this low here. We are below this potential inversion fair value gap here. So that is encouraging now. And we should see lower prices now, in my opinion. The fill was not ideal, even though we have moved already almost 10 handles. All right, so that's good. I will move the trade to break even now, and if I would have another partial on, I would take a partial now. So if I had more than one contract on, I'd be taking a partial at this low here right now. Can't do it. Since I can't do it now, I'm moving my stop lower, and I will let it go for a further run here. Thanks, TT. Yeah, nice trade eventually. So we caught 11 handles so far. However, I was not really confident with the choppy action initially, and also now I would have definitely taken another partial off. I will leave it on now a little bit more. I will actually move the stop to here, and I think we could still see the sell side liquidity being targeted here. and that's why I have my take profit here a little bit conservative, a little bit early here at the low of the old new week opening gap, because yeah, we might don't want to see the target here, and also it's at the bottom of the opening range gap here, so I expect we could see a turnaround here. So, but I will leave it on now. I will not bail out now. All right, so we have now just we have another fair value gap formed here and traded to. So, and we saw a reaction here, another run to sell side liquidity here. So this should hold price now below. Ideally, we should see lower prices now. And really, I really want to take partials now. I feel like my gut feeling tells me don't let the trade turn on you here. But I will stick with it. I wish I had a partial still on. I could take off here. However, for the purposes here, I will stick with it. I might close it if we close above this fair value gap here. Yes, yes, I want to see a lower low here, which is good. I will further reduce the stop now, since we made a lower low here. So since we made a lower low on the 1 minute, I don't want to see it come back above the high here. So I banked at least 350 bucks, and yeah, that's good. And so far we had a range of 13 handles in the S&P, which is good. Generally, I'm aiming for like 10 handles for a basic trade. We have a large range day, can be more, of course. So yeah, I'm curious to see if we see a sell side liquidity rate here and seeing the low of the opening range, new week opening gap being hit. And my stop is reasonable in my opinion. I don't want, if we take out this high here, then we would have a 1 minute market structure shift. So I want to be out of the trade anyways, and at least we made a couple of bucks. And we are back in this chop here. We are below the opening range gap, so yeah, wouldn't surprise me too much if we turn around here. All right, here we go, and out, stopped in profit. That's okay. Had no partials on I could take, so I'm still okay with the trade. Was not a trade I felt very comfortable with, to be honest, but it's not the super high probability conditions in my opinion. So we made like, well, we started with a balance of 2,350 and we're out with 2,875. So yep, 500 bucks. Not super exciting, but profitable. Slowly, a slow grind. Better slow and consistent than risky and wild up and down, in my opinion. So we had at least a trade today, which I'm glad about. Here are the executions, and entered here in the fair value gap, traded back into this fair value gap. Okay, choppy today. Immediate rebalance here on the 15-minute, fair value gap on the 3-minute here, so we might still go lower. However, 2-minute fair value gap here. Pretty choppy today. I'm okay with being stopped out. Stop was already very low, but that's fine. Could have left it higher here above the second fair value gap. That would be the safer place for the stop if I would have put it above this second 1-minute fair value gap here. But who cares? I don't want to see a now we have a market structure shift to the upside, so that's not high probability anymore, in my opinion. So it's okay to be out of the trade, even though if it goes lower. And it can still go lower here, in my opinion. Pretty choppy chop. So we have sell side below here, and we have buy side above here and here remaining. And let me actually check something out. From this high to this low here, where are we in terms of, yeah, we're at the midpoint approximately. And it's hard, in my opinion, to favor one side here. Now we are in nowhere's land. We are back in the opening range gap here at the midpoint approximately. We are below the 830 and the midnight opening price. We are close to the new day opening gap here. Yeah, so really, let's remove the drawings here. So who knows what it's doing right now? Consolidating. I'm still happy with the scalp. It's okay. Was nothing big, but at least an execution. And manage trade idea. And I was kind of not expecting, but I could justify a turnaround here. So that's okay. Nothing I really want to trade off at the very moment. Have we have not taken out the 15-minute high so far. I mean, we have taken out this high. And here we have taken out the a low initially. Yeah, it's really 50-50 in my opinion now. We have we have touched the fair value gap a second time here. We are below the 1 hour fair value gap here. We could go lower. Wouldn't be surprised if we go lower today. But the setups are choppy. We've gotta live through some. You have to be patient today and careful with your stop if you're trading today. And this is not a nice price action in my opinion. It's okay. You can still navigate in it on the lower time frame, still carve a scalp out here. But it doesn't get me very excited. These kind of chops here, taking high out, taking highs out, taking lows out. The trades are usually slow. And you gotta be careful with your stop, even more careful with your stop placement. That's not what I like. I don't want to get in and quickly run to my target. That's ideal. All right. Trade execution. Let's see. Yeah, we entered on that candle here, just below the fair value gap. Spiked in, turned around 3 candles later, closed slightly above the midpoint here. Went into it 3 more times, 1, 2, 3, and then went lower, took out the sell side liquidity here, and then touched the 830 opening price here, and then went lower. Took a couple of partials here, break even and in profit, just because I didn't like the close here, and then had one partial to the low here, to this candle here, at this candle here, with my limit. We have 10:45, so 5 minutes till the next macro window begins. We will see if we can find another trade setup maybe in the last 20 minutes and then the last 10 minutes of the hour and the first 10 minutes of the following hour. So I will stick around until then. And yeah, let me remind you, if you are watching and you haven't done so yet, would really appreciate it if you like the video, if you do so, and subscribe to the channel. That would be I would really appreciate it and would be real motivation for me to keep doing these live streams on a regular basis and to grow the channel. It's much more fun if a couple of people are watching, and it's much more fun if I get a couple of subscribers and likes on the videos. It's much more motivating because I could do this on my own at home as well, trading my own account. But I like the idea to, if I'm in front of the charts anyways, I like the idea to share my analysis and my trade ideas and examples. Maybe it helps someone, maybe it's inspiring to someone, and yeah. I'm being very open. You can answer me, you can ask me any kind of questions if you like, and happy to talk with you and exchange if you like. And to trade the account up. So almost 3,000 in profit so far, which is nice, which is encouraging since the start. I'm only taking trades here on this account live in front of you. So all trades being seen in these accounts are actually live streamed. So there's no trade I'm taking if I'm not streaming it live. So kind of shows you the performance, and also, yeah, I think kind of gives you a track record at some point. You can trust in, because yeah, you can see everything and watch every execution. All right, 2 minutes until the opening, until the macro window starts. So 10:49 at 10:50 the next macro window starts. 20 minutes, last 10 minutes of the full hour, and last 10 minutes of the starting hour at 11 o'clock, and we can see if there is a significant move forming or is in the making, which is worth taking. Today I think it's just scalp. Terra, you gotta be nimble today. We should not expect 100 handle moves today in the lunch session, in the AM session, in my opinion. So we gotta be careful. I think it's still running for liquidity primarily and ranging. So if I take trades, I'd like to take them after a stop run. And yeah, let's see if we get another trustworthy setup here. So far it looks like it makes another attempt for buy-side liquidity. Let's remove the executions for now. And yeah, I think we have sell-side liquidity still left. We have sell-side liquidity here, here, and here. So I would still kind of like to see the sell-side liquidity run here at some point in time. Doesn't need to be the next move. So far we are back in a premium here. We're back in a premium here at this opening range gap and the old new day opening gap here. And we're back to the midnight opening price. So far we are in a premium. We could attack the buy side liquidity here. have still about 15 minutes on the full hour macro, as I just call it here. Let's see. We have kind of taken out buy side liquidity here almost fully, but that's also sometimes enough for me if we take out the bodies here. So for me that counts as taken buy side liquidity already. So let's see if we can find maybe another short setup at some point in the next 15 minutes. If I get a good risk to reward setup or a fair value gap forming that's worth taking, I might go for another short setup after we have taken out buy side liquidity. Let's see. Basically equal highs here. So if we leave that intact, we have like equal highs here just formed. Let's see if they stay, assuming that we go lower here. But let's see what price. Let's not predict the setup here. Let's wait until it unfolds. And now we have, not yet, we're back to the premium level of the opening of the weekly opening gap here. And we have now taken out the high. We have now officially taken out the high here. And let's see, we might see a turnaround in the next 10 minutes. If we do so, if we see a market structure shift on a lower time frame here, we have taken out a 15-minute high here now. And if we see a market structure shift lower, I might be interested in another short, but so far we haven't, doesn't mean that we have topped yet, so I'm still waiting. Let me check the Nasdaq for this in comparison. Let me see what the Nasdaq does here. The Nasdaq has not ran out the previous high from 10 a.m. yet. Might still do it, but so far did not fully run it out. Might see a divergence here. Haven't seen it yet, but so far we have a divergence here between the Nasdaq and the S&P. Higher high here, lower low here. Let's see if it stays like that. Haven't formed a swing high yet, so actually too early, but let's see. So we have formed a swing high on the 1 minute chart now. The 3 candle pattern. Here we have formed that. Here 1, 2, 3. And so far we have not broken market structure yet, but I'm looking for that. If we see a market structure shift on the downside, might want to take that. And looks like we get that. So here is the swing high. So if we break that convincingly, we have a market structure shift in my opinion. And so far we still have a divergence between the S&P and the Nasdaq, which is an indication of a potential turnaround if it stays like this. So far this is not a convincing market structure shift for me. I need to see more here. So no setup at the moment. Still no setup. That might change, but so far it doesn't look like. I would have liked to see a convincing market structure shift below this low and then a retrade maybe. That would be ideal. But this doesn't look like a market structure shift unfolding so far. We have buy-side liquidity here. Let's see. I will stay on the 1 minute chart now, watching the market structure here. Eight minutes left in the final hour macro here. I will stick around until that, I think. So stick around probably 8 more minutes. If we get a trade set up in this time, I'll take that. If not, we will be sufficient with the trade we took earlier. And again, guys, before closing, would really appreciate it if you give the video a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing, and if you could subscribe to the channel. That would be a real motivation to keep going with these daily live sessions, live streams, live market analysis, and the live trade executions in front of you. All right. So far, so far holding ground. So far holding ground. We have traded into this fair value gap here. Traded, and we are actually already above the 50% of this last week. So that's an indication that we are not very bearish at the very moment. And yeah, we're about to make a new high here. And buy side liquidity almost hit. Here. So what is the high here? The high here is 5364.5, and we have 5364.5, so perfectly equal so far the highs here. Nasdaq took out the high from 1012 here. All right, I think no setup so far. I think will be sufficient with the trade we took earlier, with the small little scalp here. And I think that will be it. We'll be closing soon. Today we have Friday, so next live stream will be on Monday. Our execution from today basically was a little bit, was a scalp against the session move. Traded from the high to the low of this opening range gap, and then back higher again, starting at 10:30 approximately. So far, not a real indication that it wants to go lower. That's okay. All right, guys, I think I will close now. I hope you liked the analysis. I hope you liked the trade example we took. I wish you a very, very nice weekend wherever you are watching from. And I'll be back on Monday from 10 to 11 New York time again. And give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And that's it from my side. All the best from my side. And have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye bye.